Welcome to our first in-person event since COVID-19. For those who don't know me, my name is Raghda Al-Azab, and I am the head of communications for TikTok in the Middle East and North Africa. I am very pleased to introduce to you today our panel of experts who will discuss a very exciting partnership which will help youth in the region prepare for the future job market. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Akif Aqrabawi, the CEO of INJAZ Al-Arab, and Talal Al-Faiz, Head of Government Relations for TikTok in the Middle East, North Africa, and Turkey. Thank you.
شوف انخفاض كبير بالوظائف الأساسية اللي بشكل عام عندها أجور منخفضة، وتقريباً كل النمو مركز بالأدوار اللي عندها أجور أعلى من القطاعات النامية مثل الرعاية الصحية، التكنولوجيا والهندسة، المال والأعمال واللوجستكس.
نسعى دائما لإيصال رسالتنا للجمهور حول مستقبل قطاع العلاقات العامة والحاجة إلى جيل جديد من أصحاب الموهبة في هذا المجال.
When it comes to my outlook into the future jobs and the advice that I would like to give you is always stay flexible and agile and always study the future jobs and the future market and stay ahead of any future trends.
من خلال هذه الحملة ومن خلال شراكتنا مع القطاع الخاص سنقوم بإلقاء الضوء على أهم القطاعات الأكثر نمواً والأعمال والمهارات التي بحاجة إليها سوق العمل خلال ال10 سنوات القادمة.
So this was the exciting partnership I was just telling you about, and of course you figured that the last person who spoke in this video is Akif Aqrabawi, the CEO of INJAZ Al-Arab. So we will start by asking him and trying to know more about this partnership from him. But before I do that, I don't want to be rude, so I want to welcome our spokespeople. Welcome Talal and welcome Akif.
Hi,
thank you so much for joining us today. We know that you invested a lot of time and effort in this partnership, and we're very glad that it's finally coming out to light. So congratulations. And now Akif. Everyone wants to understand more about the INJAZ Job Future Initiative.
Thank you, Raghda. Allow me to start by saying that work readiness, employability is one of the 3 pillars that INJAZ focuses on. In general, INJAZ is focusing on, works on 3 pillars: financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship. And since inception, we've been focusing heavily on employability simply because employability and unemployment is the most challenging issue in this region. For our young people and for countries, for governments, for the private sector. And secondly, our young people are not, as you know, are not exposed to what is available in the marketplace. I remember as an example, as I heard that from one of our volunteers, one of our programs called Personal Economics, and this specific program would require a volunteer that has a finance background. And this program goes under financial literacy. So if we recruit a volunteer from the private sector to step into the classroom to deliver the program, students would think only of the banker as a teller. They don't know that banks have a lot of jobs that are being taught at university currently. So the plan of this initiative is to create an awareness, is to expand and open students' horizons to see the potential, the growing industries, the jobs that will be available in the marketplace, and the skills that are needed in the coming 5 to 10 years. So in a nutshell, this is what Future Jobs is, and this is what we aim to fulfill out of this campaign. And this is part of our collaboration with TikTok, is to create this awareness and invite private sector partners and invite our young people from across the region to come and lead the private sector to speak directly to our young people and to give them some advice and tips about the potential of their future in the coming 5 to 10 years.
Thank you, Akif. Talal, I don't claim that I can read people's minds, but I know that this is a pressing question that everyone in the room has. When everyone thinks of TikTok, they think of TikTok as an entertainment platform. So it can be a bit unnatural for them to imagine how such content will look like on the platform. So can you tell us what's really TikTok's role in this partnership?
Certainly, and thank you so much for the question. Well, as you said, TikTok definitely is synonymous with entertainment, but at the same time, what we've noticed amongst our community of users themselves is they're very keen to engage on job readiness, preparedness when it comes to academia, entering university, entering the job market. So to capitalize on this trend, we basically thought, how could we provide our community of users specifically with the information, the guidance, and the tools that they require straight from industry leaders, from the mouths of industry leaders. And that is where our partnership was conceptualized. INJAZ, as a leader in this space, who's been working in this space for years, has access not only to the work that they've done over the years, but also their network of private sector partners, their network of academic partners, as well as the research that they've conducted upon which this initiative is actually based.
Thank you, Talal. So, Akif, now when anyone talks about this world, they divide the world into two phases. The world before COVID and the world post-COVID. So, and this includes the healthcare sector, this includes economy, this includes the job market and everything. So I want to understand from you, I know that you've been working with the private sector for the past 18 years. So from your experience, how do you see the gap between the skills that we have today and the skills that will be needed for a post-COVID world?
When COVID-19 started and during the first wave of COVID in 2020, INJAZ, like so many other organizations in this region, we did our best in continuing our operations on the ground to be able to fulfill our commitment and our promises to stakeholders, to donors, and to our young people in the region. So we met our target despite all the challenges, all the barriers that were imposed on us because of COVID-19. And I would say that that we've been able to make a shift from in-person implementation to virtual and online delivery. However, I would say that all the efforts that we've been able to make was scattered and unorganized and unstructured, and that required us as an organization to take a step back to see the bigger picture and to rethink our model of implementation, our model of operations, and how we operate on the ground. And we realized as a team, as an organization, one fact, that in the 13 chapters we operate in this region, there is 100 million youth exist. So the question was asked among our stakeholders, staff members, board members, is there a scale up at our ambition level? If so, then we need to revisit our model of operations, our skills that we offer to our young people, and our programs as well. We embarked on a strategy since 2020, digital strategy that promises a wide spectrum of learning experiences, a new innovative teaching methods, and an increased number of interactions with our young people. And to be able to do so in collaboration with a consulting company, a future-proof taxonomy of skills was used to evaluate INJAZ's current skills offering. And I can say that we have a big list of skills that we need to look INJAZ deeply to actually make sure that we can add it to the programs that we develop from now on and to deliver to our programs. But to be honest with you, the question at this stage is not only what, it's how. How can we actually work together as private sector, as non-profit organization, and as government to convey and transfer all of these skills to our young people in the region?
Spot on, Akif. Thank you so much. So I noticed a common theme between the answer you just gave me and the answer that Talal gave me earlier, which is education and online education.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the need to deploy online education in capacity building programs. So Talal, I'm keen to understand from you, just back to the point you mentioned earlier about an appetite on the platform for educational content, and that you see that the TikTok community is keen on preparing for the future. So did TikTok launch any programs or get into any partnerships in the past that were similar to this, that made you basically think that this is something that the TikTok community is keen on?
Certainly, and I think the important point to highlight here is we view ourselves as very much a part of the communities in which we operate. And on that note, we believe it's key to be responsive to the interests and desires and need for guidance that our community of users express. So capitalizing on that particular note, we believe it's our responsibility to develop educational interventions geared towards those specific purposes. For example, here in the UAE, we've launched the Dubai Chamber TikTok Academy, which is a purpose-built microsite, in light of the pandemic as well, of tutorials delivered fully online, with built-in educational components, quizzes, and at the end of the day, a badge for completion of the program. So this is kind of, our first foray into the space. And this partnership, which is a long-term partnership with INJAZ, is designed to address exactly the same need. So upskilling, providing content that's relevant, useful, but at the same time very much in a TikTok spirit that is entertaining. I think what we need to kind of keep in mind is the fact that attention spans over time have decreased, and recognizing that, we do feel that we have the responsibility to put content out there that is, of course, at the same time entertaining, but useful. Useful when it comes to education and when it comes to upskilling. And we've seen, the response to that be very, very positive. And we hope that this is not the only program in the near future. We're very much looking forward to several other interventions in this space as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Talal. So, Akif, I want to benefit from your experience as much as possible. So, this question is about the current gap that we see in the market between the potential current gap that is existing in the market between the market demands and the skills that the workforce currently has. So I wanted to understand from you, what is the role of INJAZ in bridging the gap between the demands and the current skills available at hand in market?
INJAZ has been serving in the region for almost 20 years. And I've been lucky to be part of this growing, actually, services that we've been able to make in the region. I think INJAZ is doing all the stuff that is needed, actually, to bridge the gap between academia and the private sector. If you look at the model of INJAZ, I would say that INJAZ is one of the very little organizations, non-profit organizations, that ignited the public-private sector partnership in this region. We work with ministries of education, educational institutions, universities, higher education, and actually we work at the same time with private sector companies who provide us with volunteers to step into classrooms to deliver these programs inside the classroom to be delivered to our young people in the region. This is one. Secondly, our programs, we have, as I mentioned, 3 main pillars and 4 even with tech as a pillar. And under each pillar, we have set of programs that are being designed and developed not only by our member nations in the region, but globally by all the member nations that are affiliated from Junior Achievement Worldwide. So imagine how these programs evolved over the past 100 years. And then thirdly, I would say that the model itself is unique. When you bring in a volunteer from the private sector to step into the classroom to deliver these programs, you will let the students to be exposed to see a different wide spectrum of backgrounds and experiences coming from the volunteers. And last thing I would say that we focus on early ages. We actually deliver our programs to elementary students, elementary schools. And I do believe that when you start at an early age, the impact will be huge on child's cognitive ability later in life for our young people. So those would actually help INJAZ to bridge the gap between the demand and the need in the marketplace.
Great, thank you so much. Talal, you were speaking earlier about TikTok's keenness on inspiring youth. So I'm curious to know, how is TikTok inspiring youth through this partnership?
Thank you, Erla. That's actually a brilliant question. So the intention behind this partnership is very much in line with our ethos, which is to inspire creativity and bring joy. And how we're using this partnership to do that, aside from, again, the entertainment component, is to leverage the experience of INJAZ's network of industry leaders across multiple disciplines that have been identified by the research conducted by INJAZ and its partners as leaders within the future jobs. And so these leaders have been used to create bite-sized videos talking about not just what those jobs are, what the industries themselves are, but also their own personal experiences, which I think resonates most with our users and encourages engagement as much as possible. They talk about kind of the struggles they've been through, what they've learned as a result of those struggles, how they've overcome those struggles, and we hope that these people will serve as models that our users can see as an ideal upon which to model themselves. And that is basically how we intend for youth to benefit as much as possible from access to this information. And through the platform and the reach of the platform, we're hoping that we can see a level of engagement that will deliver real impact on the ground.
Akif, you were just stressing on the importance of starting early when it comes to education. So I wanted to know from you, how do you see this partnership with TikTok driving impact when it comes to educating youth or a new audience?
It is the perfect partnership. And I started earlier talking about our strategy as INJAZ Al Arab, and the strategy was built on a growth basis. And as we all know, MENA region is a youthful region. Youth make up 60% of the total population in the region. And I was talking also about the 100 million youth that exist in the countries that we operate in. So to me, this is the right partnership. And again, just to go back to what Talal mentioned earlier, this partnership with TikTok would inspire our young people to foresee the future, which is amazing. And one more thing that Talal just mentioned, that all the reports say that our young people, they have a short attention span, and they want to learn quickly and creatively, and definitely TikTok is the right platform to do so with our young people.
Thank you, Akif. So Talal, now that everyone knows why did INJAZ choose TikTok, we want to understand from you, why did TikTok choose INJAZ?
Thank you, Rabda. I think INJAZ comes across, as the partner of choice for many obvious reasons. Like I mentioned earlier, an established track record of work in this industry. It's one of the pioneering organizations that have actually taken this mandate and driven it forward and elevated it to levels that we haven't seen, completely unprecedented levels. Aside from kind of the dedication and the commitment of INJAZ itself as an organization, their partners, their expertise, the research that they conduct, and the own personal mission of the organization has meant for us that there was no better partner to help us actually navigate this landscape and capitalize on that wealth of knowledge to fulfill this mandate.
So it seems like a match made in heaven. So congratulations on the launch of this partnership. And we cannot wait to see phase 2 and what it has in store for us.
Yes.
We're very excited. Are you excited, guys?
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Ragda.
So thank you so much, Talal and Akif again. We now open the floor for our media partners. So if you have any questions for Talal or Akif, please feel free to ask. Please.
Okay, definitely I've seen the reason for this partnership, but I just know that you're targeting the youth and TikTok is the best place to do so. But is there any challenges that you think that could face TikTok in this matter? Though I know it's not only for fun, definitely, because I've noticed that over the years. But do you think when it comes to education in specific, is there anything like that any kind of challenges that would face TikTok in this matter?
So I think that's a brilliant question, and thank you for that. I think what's important to note here is that this is something that we've seen manifest on the platform organically. And this is actually in response to a need expressed by our users, right? We've seen, young people and job seekers across MENA, regardless of age actually, looking for this kind of information, looking for this kind of guidance. And of course, our creator community itself has been extremely active in sharing their own experiences and trying to facilitate the entry of their viewers, of the people in their comments, and to share that and impart that wisdom. So this initiative is actually intended to supplement that with a specific focus on the jobs of the future. You know, what we've noticed across the platform is while the advice has been extremely helpful and extremely valuable, and that sense of community has built around this, people have connected. You know, one of the beauties of the platform is people connect around specific shared interests rather than social connections, right? So communities, global communities have built around, you know, this particular need. So for us, we felt it's a responsibility for us to take that to heart and provide a supplementary set of content that is targeted towards future jobs specifically. Because I think for many of us, they remain a black box. So we're very much reliant on the expertise of our partners such as INJAZ and their research partners as well to identify what those specific jobs of the future are and what information we feel that users could benefit from. And the hope here is, from an engagement perspective, that our users will watch these videos and then leverage features of the platform itself, such as the comments, to ask questions to experts, which we can then kind of take, you know, select the most relevant questions and build upon for phase 2. You know, this is the information we felt that would be relevant to you, but what is the information you want to hear from our job heroes that can help you specifically? So that's the intention. It's the interaction and the engagement that the platform brings, just as importantly as the content itself. Pleasure.
Else? Final call? Anyone else? Okay, this means that our spokespeople did a fantastic job explaining everything related to this project. Thank you so much for attending. And again, this is our first in-person event since COVID-19. It's really a pleasure to have you all here today. Thank you for your time. And we hope that you enjoyed this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ragda.
Thank you.
Talal, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ragda. Thanks.
Please.